Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Hope you're doing well. I thought I would pop up here, give y'all some updates as to what's been going on with me. I did a little bit of updates with the last video I recorded overnight with the winter storm that's still blowing through. Will be until tomorrow. We're under a winter storm, blizzard, whatever, until 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. Interestingly, I've been seeing on my Facebook account, I, of course, still have a lot of accounts that I follow from back in Vegas, and including City of Las Vegas, the government page, and I've been seeing stories, or posts coming across my stories, however you term it, but anyway, of them opening up the pools and splash pads already. I'm like, man, it's only March. It's a little early for this. And they're saying, if you need to beat the heat and all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, what? So I went and I looked up Las Vegas weather. And I saw the reason why. It's because they're under a high heat advisory for this week. They're going to be shooting up into the upper 90s. And I'm like, oh, well, that explains that. And it's just, the contrast. Here I am up here in Minnesota battling a blizzard. We are in the 30s, thank goodness. I think we're supposed to be in the 20s the next couple of days, and then we're supposed to shoot up into the 40s and 50s for the next week and a half, something like that. And we're, dealing with blizzard conditions, and then out there, it's high heat advisories. It's like, wow, okay, talk about 180 degree here on me. I'm used to this time of year being like upper 70s, maybe low 80s, maybe, mid 70s, something like that, maybe getting up into the low 80s, maybe mid 80s, like 85 or something like that. But upper 90s already, it's like, whoa, I think they're in for a hot one this summer. Must have been a mild winter out there. It's the only thing I could figure out. So, but yeah, and then, of course, like I said, here I'm dealing with this, and I'm like, okay, totally new experience for me. So, but at least now I'm in an SUV, so I'll be less likely to, and it is all-wheel drive, so I'll be less likely to be running into issues with going back out to work. I don't know if I will work today or not. I might go out for a little while or something like that, but anything extended, yeah, I'm not entirely too sure. I've got to really seriously think about it, because it's pretty nasty out there. I know I posted the video last night, but I'm going to turn my phone around. Oh, hold on. There we go. I've got to get that cord unstuck. I'm going to turn my phone around so y'all can see. Yeah. Coming down pretty darn good. I hope y'all can see there. Those are actually supposed to be stairs right there. And let me get my butt up. There's the car right there. I know it's not really not looking too terribly bad, but it just goes to show how high the winds have been. And over here, I don't know if you could see it very well with the angle, but over here is where my friend's pickup truck was. Actually, there, the winds picked up. You could, hopefully you were able to you're able to see it, because of course I can't without looking at the camera directly myself. But the wind blowing all the snow off of the roof there, yeah. And then over here, hopefully it's more than just the picnic table that you're seeing. My friend's pickup truck, it's a small 4x4, was sitting there this morning before he went to work. As you could see, it's pretty much almost completely snowed over. So, and my other friend, her car, her SUV, is parked in the garage. So, yeah, lots of fun. Totally new experience for me. I mean, I lived in this when I was a kid. I spent my first years in Michigan, but I was 9 going on 10 years old when my parents and I moved down south. We moved down to North Carolina, Wilmington, spent a couple years there, and then we wound up moving up to Virginia Beach. And that's where I spent the next 19 years before I moved out to Vegas, where I spent the next 20 for the most part. There's like 4 months where I was in Florida, and then went back to Vegas. So, and now I am here. So, but anywho, so yeah, this has been a bit of an experience. So, if you didn't catch the previous, I guess you could say 2 videos now, well, for one thing, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I appreciate you stopping by, and hopefully maybe stick around, learn a few things about a lot of different things in general, not just anything in particular. But here for the last year and a half, something like that, I've been posting a lot of videos about my health journey. As it has been a bit of a journey. I've been battling long COVID for the last 3 years. I have, you'll have to look up what the acronym stands for, because for the life of me, I cannot pronounce it. I know it's myalgic encephalomyelitis, I think is how you pronounce it, / chronic fatigue syndrome. It's MECFS, /CFS, okay? And it's more than what it sounds like as far as, the chronic fatigue syndrome. Yeah, I do deal with chronic fatigue, but what I deal with more is cramping in my chest. And I'm talking about like more severe than Charlie horses. It feels like, like when you get Charlie horses in your legs, it's more, it feels a lot like that, but it's more severe than that. It's to the point where my body has literally tried to choke me to death. Okay? And that's not an exaggeration. I have, like with these, mostly it's all triggered by storms. But I have literally, because it starts here in my larynx, goes all the way down to the upper part of my abdomen, where when storms come in, my chest pulls all the muscles together to like right here in this spot right here. And from every direction, including my back, and I have an old back injury, back and neck injury, I should say, from a car accident that I was in. I was rear-ended 8, almost 9 years ago now, and I have permanent here in my C6 and C7. I have pinched nerves in there, and permanent issues with whiplash injury here in my neck, especially here at the base of my skull. So yeah, even all that will get pulled. My body will try and pull all that also towards the front here into the center of my chest. And like I said, I have literally had my body, because of what it was doing with pulling everything together and tightening and so forth, I have literally had to hold my breath. in hopes that the spasm would pass soon enough where I could take breaths again, right? So, yeah, it's not an exaggeration when I say my body has literally tried to choke me to death. So, I know it doesn't make any bit of sense, but, try talking to that. So, that's what we have been fighting here for the last 3 years. Basically since last summer, it's gotten significantly worse, where it has leapt into extremes like that, with my body actually choking me to death. I know my allergies are actually flaring up a little bit. Yeah, that's kind of what, it doesn't surprise me because of the winds with the direction that's coming in. It's something that up north gets blown in at the same time, and it has a tendency to flare up my allergies a little bit. And then once everything is done, I'm good to go. It doesn't last for very long, so I don't see the point in taking something, and I don't dare really take much of anything anyway, except for maybe Claritin, because either it's going to make me drowsy, oh, excuse me, or I'm going to have some bad side effects, one or the other. So, anywho, so what the treatment that I have, I came here to Minnesota because of Mayo, and that was a very good decision, even though I went through some obstacles there because they wanted to diagnose me with asthma, and I told them right out, I don't have asthma, it's long COVID. I finally had to sit on them. Even all the testing was showing that I was dealing with severe inflammation throughout my body, and it was a matter of trying to figure out why I was dealing with it. And of course, I was sent over to a pulmonologist in-house, and he wanted to start me on inhalers. I told him right out no, because I had nothing but issues when I was on them, which told me that that was not the issue. And when I had told him I do not have asthma, I have long COVID, he did bring in somebody who had worked in their long COVID department, basically the interactive medicine department, and he gave me some nice long speech and had the doctor write me a referral that I could take to a local physical therapist. That was at my insistence, not at their suggestion, but they had said, okay, I've already had a pulmonary function test, and even with going to a different kind of therapist here locally, she took one look at everything and said the same thing as what I was saying. I don't have asthma. So she didn't feel that there wasn't really much that she would be able to do, to help me, because that wasn't the issue. We need to get down to what the issue was, but I needed to get it cleared from my chart about with everybody trying to diagnose me with asthma, so I could get the proper treatment that I needed. So the pulmonologist there at Mayo said, okay, and and I could see there was some arrogance there. He was just like, yeah, I'm going to prove this bitch wrong, and prove to her, yes, you do have asthma. Well, guess what? I wound up proving him wrong. And he ordered another pulmonary function test, only this time with methacholine, and came back negative. Yeah, so, and it's like, yeah, and I gave it my all with that test to prove I don't have asthma. Sure enough, so that's when I got referred over to, well, basically the pulmonologist came back and said, yeah, there's nothing I could do for her. She doesn't have asthma. So and the primary that I was seeing there, that was the one who referred me over to the interactive or whatever interactive medicine department, whatever it's called. It don't matter. Anyway, that's where I got the diagnosis for long COVID ME/CFS. So, and then we could finally start taking a look at some possible treatments, and I was given this long list of medications and supplements and suggestions and so on and so forth. And I took one look at it and I went right to the supplements. So I'm not a big one for medications to begin with. If anything, I have to be careful because my body is very, very sensitive to medications, even over-the-counter drugs. So I could take some ibuprofen and get knocked right out of the picture. So I have to be very, very careful. But I took a look at supplements. There was 4 that I was interested in. 2 of them you have to take jointly. So I went through and started those, brought them into my system slowly. I tried doing full force initially, not good. So I broke it down to 8s and quarters of the amounts, depending on which one it was and what sort of reactions that I was getting, even with breaking things down to just a quarter of amount. Like the creatine, I wound up having to cut it back to an 1/8 because it was just way too strong. But and I got myself up to full strength with all of them slowly. So I have been about a month now, a little over a month now, with being full strength with everything. So I am L-arginine powder, 1.66 grams twice a day, and that you have to take with 500 milligrams of vitamin C. That's based off a study that was conducted in Italy, where they had found a lot of success versus they found they had a lot of success with that versus just taking a multivitamin. Oh, shoot. A little bit of allergy issues. Sorry about that. So, and the reason why basically they found that people who are battling long COVID are having problems with the vascular issues. So, I don't know how they came up with the L-arginine with doing that versus other amino acids, but that's one that they experimented with, and they had everyone also taken the 500 milligrams of vitamin C. I opted for the powder for the vitamin C, so I'm getting powders with both. And basically the reason why for the vitamin C is it's an antioxidant to help keep things flushed out. The L-arginine helps to reopen the pathways, but the vitamin C helps clear out the oxidation. Okay, so yeah, and then the creatine monohydrate, that is 5 grams a day, but I broke it down to 2.5 grams twice a day. So in that way, part of the reason is because the 5 grams, I mean, that shit can give you some bad side effects. So I found with myself, it was a lot easier to do 2.5 grams twice a day. And since I'm already doing the other twice a day, so, you know, it's just, it's so easier to keep track of too. But with that one, it gives you muscles the energy that they need for when they need it most. Okay, because unfortunately with chronic fatigue syndromes, I know I'm getting some icky and a little bit of post-nasal, so I apologize, which take it forever with being able to explain a lot of things. Also, all this affects my head, so trying to keep things focused, concentrating and so forth has been very, very difficult throughout all of this process. And I get inflamed pretty bad in my head also with storms, so it can be difficult for me a lot of times to keep my thoughts together. So I do apologize for my lack of concentration or what have you. So anyway, with creatine, with the chronic fatigue syndrome, even normal everyday tasks can be overexerting. So the creatine helps with giving your muscles the energy that they need in order to function properly, basically. That's what it boils down to. And then the other one that I started taking also, I call them my fish pills. They're basically specialized pro-resolving mediators. I am allergic to fish and shellfish, but seeing how this is the lipids instead of the full-on fish oil, I have been doing okay. So I'd like to throw that in there for other people who have issues with fish oil or shellfish. You can try it, see if you break out or have any issues or what have you, and then like do once a day or something like that, and then increase it to twice a day, because you're supposed to be taking 4 pills twice a day. The ones that I've been taking are the ones from Life Source. You can order them. I think you can get them, order them through like Vitamin Shop, GNC. You can't find them in their stores, but I believe you can order them off of their websites. But I've been getting them from Amazon. So the downside to Amazon is they have gone up in price. I was originally paying $18 a bottle. Now they've bumped up to $21 a bottle. And I don't know about any place else, but I've been having some issues with shipping here. So sometimes it's taking about 2-3 days for me to be able to get them. They don't necessarily always keep them in stock there at the local warehouses. So, or if they do keep them in stock to try and help control the demand, you're having to pay for same-day shipping. So, yeah, I've been running into those issues. So what I try and do with it to help control all of those issues is I order 2 bottles at a time, and then when I open the second bottle, that's when I'm ordering another couple of bottles. So I'm not getting that lapse if I have the money, of course, because things have been really, really tough for me financially, especially when I had the car payment. So, but I don't have to. I have to pay back all the money that I had that I lapsed on, but at least I don't have to worry about more charges piling up now. Now I just got to get the situation with this car taken care of with all the repairs. But I'm going to get extended vehicle warranty insurance, and I found one where they do cover pre-existing issues. So, but there's a waiting period. So I just gotta get back out to work so I can get that taken care of. So anyway, back to the other. So yeah, those are the supplements that I have been taking. Okay, the PRMs, or AKA my fish pills, as I call them. The creatine monohydrate, which I do in a powder, L-arginine, and the vitamin C. And all of that has been great. Hi, I got a little girl here who wants to say hello. No, you don't want to say hello? Okay. Oh my. This is my Vegas diva. She's my Vegas chick. Yep. She was born and raised in Vegas. So, and she's a total Vegas diva. Yeah. Most definitely. So anyway, everything is going great or whatever, but I was still having a lot of issues with storms. Thank you for coming in. And I'm still feeling some cramping happening. Not as bad as what I was before, but I was still having some issues. So I knew I needed to do something. So I pretty much was taking everything on the supplement list that was in relation to what I have been dealing with. So that's when I'm like, okay, it's time for me to hit the doctor and look at what sort of medications. And I hit on one that focuses on muscle cramping. It's a medication that is for muscle cramping, okay? But basically the main brand medication is Tonmya, Tonmya. The generic is cyclobenzaprine. Unfortunately, of course, insurance companies do not want to, even if we're going through all the full processes with getting the pre-auth, unfortunately, most of your insurance companies are going to deny it. Even though it's sublingual, this and that and everything, they are going to deny it. So you might have to go through an appeal process. And with it being sublingual, that means, of course, it's being administered in your body differently. It's a pill. Basically, it's a 2.8 milligrams. It's a full it would be, I don't remember, but what the full dose would be 6 point something milligrams. Very tiny pill. It's about the size of a freckle. Okay, that's how tiny it is. But I gotta tell you, it packs a punch. Okay, with the sublingual, that means that it's a pill that you put up underneath your tongue, and then it gets dispersed. It gets into your body faster, and it also leaves your body faster. Whereas with cyclobenzaprine, it is a 5 milligram pill, and you take half of that, half or a quarter. I'm actually taking a quarter because half was just like, wow, I really got high in a big hurry. But of course, my body is very, very sensitive, and I was even having a little bit of issues with the quarter, and I've been taking that for almost a week now, and I seem to be doing okay. I take one of those a day. Nice thing with doing that this way too is, even though I'm supposed to be taking 2.5 milligrams a day, but doing a quarter if need be, I can take another quarter throughout the day. Basically, I think I could, according to the prescription bottle, I could take up to 3 2.5 milligram pills a day, something like that. But with me doing a quarter, I could take more if I wanted to, or if I felt that I needed to because of the storms or whatever. But I seem to be doing okay. And with this storm, I have felt with the storms that have blown through here over the course of the last week, of course, including this one that we're dealing with now, I have felt symptoms, a little bit here and there, but not nearly as bad. Ow! Okay. So May has decided that she wanted to bite me. But anyway, the symptoms that I have felt haven't been nearly as bad as what I was dealing with before. Even after taking supplements and getting out to full force, I have noticed that a lot of the spasms have calmed down quite significantly. And with the cyclobenzaprine / Tonmya, the reason why it's that type of muscle relaxer instead of regular other types of muscle relaxers. The other types of muscle relaxers target the muscle tissues, whereas the Tonmya / cyclobenzaprine focus more on the nerves, getting the nerves to calm down. So, basically, they're not, those myelin sheaths aren't firing, basically those nerve endings aren't in constant trigger mode. Let's put it that way. It helps to reduce those signals, which in turn helps with of course, it basically targets the central nervous system, that to calm down and not sending so many signals up to the brain so that the brain has opportunity to calm down as well. So, oh, okay, here you go. She's like, decided to put my hand back. And she's like, Mommy, I need to bite your hand again. Okay. She does this, It's like, well, I know, too hard. It's too hard. Yeah. It's basically love nibs, like how cats do. Really. Okay, that is not love nibs. Okay, if you're going to be too rough. Yeah. Give me that head. Here. You want to say hi? Say hi. Silly girl. I know, she's so beautiful. She knows she's beautiful. She knows she's a diva. She enjoys being a diva. Yeah. She'd be a perfect show cat if it wasn't for her anxieties of being around other people. I'm the only person that she doesn't run away from. Here. Scratch your butt. Oh, yeah, scratch your butt. Yeah, that'll get you every time. I know how to get her to calm down. Silly girl. So, anywho, that's where we're at with everything. So, and like I said, so far so good. I might have to, or I might try an increase up to the 2.5. After 2 weeks, I'm supposed to possibly, if needed, increase up to the full strength pill, but I might do, say, 3/4 or something like that, if I feel I need to. But we'll see. I'm playing, just like with the supplements, I played everything by ear. I wanted to get myself up to full strength with the supplements. That's why it was slowly increasing. And when I felt my body was ready, I went ahead and did it. Of course, in the process, it wound up ruining me financially even that much more, with the car situation, with the rental. But I was doing what I felt that I needed to do because, I was getting to a point where I was barely able to go out and work for 4 hours. The other night I worked with this vehicle. I got up to 6 hours, and that was it. And I was really starting to feel it at 5, but I also realized that there was something else that there was something that needed to be taken care of with the car. So now that that's taken care of, hopefully it'll be a little bit better. And of course, this is a little bit of a bigger vehicle, so that's going to play a part. I was feeling okay as far as these issues were concerned. It was that neck injury back there, basically where the brainstem is, or just below the brainstem. It's like right there at the base of my skull, where the two sides come together back there, that little crevice. It was right in there, and it was just stabbing, shooting pain. And so I was just like, no, I'm done. And I was really getting exhausted from that. So that's why I cut out. But hopefully, I have noticed that with being on all of this, has helped calm a lot of that down back there as well. So, but yeah. Ooh, she's giving me a look. She's such a silly. Mommy, I want to get you. You want to get your mommy. Mommy, I want to get your hand. I want to get your hand, Mommy. We play a lot. Oh, Mommy. I'm going to jump off the bed now. I'm mad at you. she can be a little bit of a tomboy every once in a while, but yeah. Mostly she's Miss Queen Diva. Total opposite of her mommy. Mommy can be a diva once in a while, but is a total tomboy. Yeah. So, but anyway, the other thing that I'm going to be doing is also starting physical therapy. I was going to do that on Thursday, but I was feeling very overwhelmed. I had to get situations with the new car taken care of with all the legalities, get plates for it, title transfer, all that sort of crap. And I didn't know how long I was going to wind up being there at DMV. It wound up only being 15 minutes. Total turnaround from what I was been used to in the past, where it's an all-day ordeal. DMVs here are so fast. It's not funny. But yeah, I was just feeling really, really overwhelmed, and that's the other thing that I have been having to get used to, is forcing myself to slow down and recognize when I'm starting to overexert myself, start feeling overwhelmed, anxieties, panic, all that sort of stuff, and forcing myself to stop and forcing myself to realize that it's okay to not do everything in the same day all at once. So there's some psychological things that are going on as well that I'm retraining myself to take care of, because I've always been somebody who has been a go-getter and everything, but in recent years I haven't been able to. So now I'm forcing myself, or retraining myself, to just stop and slow down. So I rescheduled the physical therapy, and I put in all the paperwork, with what I'm dealing with and so on and so forth. And I have the paperwork together with the clinical notes from Mayo for me to be able to take over there. And I'll be starting that on Wednesday. So I should be good to go. As far as my freelancing is concerned, with everything going on, I stopped that as well, and I figured today would be a really good day for me to pick that up again, especially with the way the weather is right now. So I'll pick that back up again, and there's one piece that I had started working on, and I thought I was, good to go or what have you, but then I'm like, no, I'm gonna work on this some more, make some, and I want to put in some embellishments and so forth. So, I mean, it's okay right now, but I'm like, no, I really want to spruce this up even that much more, and it's going to be really cool. It's going to be really nice in the end. So I'm going to be doing that today, working on that, and that'll be a lot of fun. And then I'll have 10 pieces that I can see about throwing up on the stock sites, because that's what I really want to do. And of course I want to see about working on some fonts, getting those done, and then I could see about throwing those into the font creator software, doing what I need to do with those, and then exporting those out to the appropriate files and throw those up on the stock sites. I mean the font sites. So yeah, lots of fun. Diversifying myself is basically what I'm doing. I did get everything set ready to go with doing DoorDash and Instacart. On Friday, this is Sunday right now, on Friday I went on both of those apps, started them up, went up online. I waited a good 5 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. Never once got a ping, a request. So I'm just like, yeah. But I figured I would try, a different area and so forth. And it was like, forget it. I'm not somebody. I'm somebody, when I am ready to go to work, I'm ready to go to work now. Okay? So I went offline, fired up the Uber app, went online, bam. within a second, I had a request, and it was a shopping order. So I took it. It was a nice paying order too. Went over there, did it, and it was just back to back to back. And that's what I'm used to doing. I like keeping busy when I'm out there working. So that's what I did. I worked that on Friday night. It's like, yeah, Uber night, we will have our differences. Yeah, they'll try and spank me, as I like to put it, slap me on my wrist, this and that. And it's like, no, I'm setting my boundaries. And unfortunately, here lately, I've been getting a lot of those $1, $2, $3 order requests. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing them. I will not do them. Or I've been getting the requests where they've been taking me out to buttfuck Egypt, you know? And it's like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. So, and I did get one of those requests. And I declined it, but mostly I was getting, the high dollar stuff. I did notice when I went offline, all of a sudden I started getting all these notifications, and because unfortunately when you decline all of those requests, that does affect your rating. And it affected my rating so much that I was all the way back down to the lowest rating. I was at the top tier, and then I was all the way back down. Then all of a sudden, when I went offline, all of a sudden I started getting all these notifications. Oh, congratulations on getting back to gold, getting back to platinum, getting back to diamond. I'm like, what? What the heck are you talking about? The only thing I could figure out what happened is because before, when I was in the car rental, I was approved to do both ride sharing and the deliveries, but I was only doing deliveries. But with this car, there's no way that this car will be approved to do ride sharing. There's too many serious repairs that need to happen. It won't even pass a state inspection in order for me to be able to do ride sharing. And so I'm strictly on the app to approved on the app to do deliveries. And with getting rid of that ride share status, the only thing I could figure out what happened with getting rid of that is that reinstated my diamond status with the deliveries, because it was indicated in each of those. Oh, you reinstated your this status or what have you, your Uber Eats status. Platinum, your Uber Eats gold, your Uber Eats diamond status. It was like, okay, and it was strictly on that each and every single, that wordage was on that every step of the way. So it was like, okay, this is making a lot of sense. That's the only thing I could figure out what happened. So it's like, okay, but yay for me. I got my diamond status back. What would be? There is one benefit that I really wouldn't mind taking advantage of. There is one benefit that I have taken advantage of, and that's in regards to the account, the bank account status. One of those bennies. That I have taken advantage of quite frequently. So we'll see if I regain that benefit back or not in the long run. With it being the weekend, banks are closed, so we'll see what happens during the regular work week. But anywho, the only other Benny that I really wouldn't mind taking advantage of with the reward status is they do let you have free Babbel, and I'd like to learn Spanish. I know some Spanish, maybe that, and also maybe my German, but especially the Spanish. I really wouldn't mind maybe learning some Spanish. I had learned it over 20 years ago when I was in college, but that was 20 years ago, and of course I was living in a heavily Spanish or Hispanic area out there, but we do have quite a few Hispanics here, so I really wouldn't mind learning Spanish again, but we'll see. In the meantime, I'm going to be focusing on getting myself back with my finances and so forth, because I'm in financial ruin. And of course, getting things together with the freelance and so forth. The other thing that I really want to work on too are my story writings. So I figured I could work on that today as well. Short stories, and I have started writing my memoirs. I've kind of written them, picked them up, dropped them, threw them away, all that sort of stuff over the last several years. But no, and I'm still kind of ho-hum about or whatever. I've had an interesting life. I really have. So, I mean, I used to be a cab driver in Vegas, so yeah, that'll tell you what sort of stories that I have alone, let alone things that I was involved in even beforehand. So, yeah, I am going to pick all that. I figure I can work on that today as well. And I start getting some burnout with doing the freelance. Like I said, I'm not entirely too sure if I want to be out there in this sort of weather, because the winds are pretty fierce out there. And if I do go out to work, it would have to be during the day. So, but the road conditions are not the greatest. And I've heard the plows a little bit here and there, but it would mostly be excuse me, it would mostly be St. Paul. St. Paul is terrible about keeping the roads maintained during this weather. So, yeah. And I mean, it's bad. But fortunately, the temperatures are only going to be for a couple of days, and then shooting back up into the one day. Wednesday is supposed to be upper 40s, and then 50s for the rest of the week into next week. So, yeah. All the snow will be gone real fast. So, all right. I hope you all are doing well. I know it's been this is a long one, but and you got a chance to see little silly girl who's on the floor looking up at me like, "Mom, can I come up? Come on. Say hi one more time." Yeah, yeah. She loves her mommy. She gets mad at me, but she loves her mommy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't you? Come here. Mwah! I know. Silly girl. All right. I love you guys. I'll talk to y'all soon.